Hey everyone, Eric here. In this video, we're checking out a pedal that I got to collaborate with Electrojunk pedals on, and that is the cross-dissolve drive pedal. So the cross dissolve is a collaboration between myself and Tori over at Electrojunk pedals. He came to me and said, want to collaborate on a pedal? And if you ever get asked that question, just don't say no. You got to say yes. So I said yes. I had the Skybridge before, and that was a boost and a drive. I wanted to kind of follow the same-ish format and kind of take on like a different type of drive and maybe get a little bit more versatility out of the pedal. So we have a dual pedal. It's a boost and a drive. The boost foot switch is down here on the left, drive foot switch on the right. They can be turned on independently of one another. And one really cool feature is they are actually two separate pedals with an in and out for each of them, or you can just use it as a mono pedal with one in and one out. Before we jump into the pedal, let's go ahead and go over the signal chain. We're just running the Woodwright Warlord into the cross dissolve into the front of the Boss Katana, set pretty clean. So pretty much any drive you hear is going to be out of the cross dissolve. So let's go ahead and get the simpler side out of the way, the boost side. Again, the on-off foot switch is down here on the left, and then the boost control is up here on the right. It's labeled boost, and similar to the Skybridge, this is actually the same boost that's in the Skybridge. When you have it at minimum and you turn the pedal on, it's not going to cut the signal. We're going to get a little bit of clarity and a little bit of volume boost. Kind of brightens it up, kind of gives a little bit mid-range push. Very simple, just really nice. I've heard a lot of people use the boost like this, where it's just turned all the way down. You just turn it on and then off. But we can actually boost the volume if we turn the boost control up. Similarly to the Skybridge, we wanted to design a pedal where the boost could be used on its own, but also in conjunction with a drive circuit, and you can get multiple levels of gain just by turning on and off the boost. That brings us to the drive side of the pedal. The drive foot switch is over here on the right. On this circuit, we have a volume, a gain, a tone control, and a dissolve control. So volume is going to be the output volume. If you turn it up, it's going to get louder. If you turn it down, it's going to get quieter. And the gain control makes it less gainy or more gainy. If we want cleaner sounds, we can turn the gain control down. And this is one thing that I love about this drive circuit, and that's the fact that it can get a lot of different drive sounds. So as you heard right there, it's not very gainy, and it's not it's not really aggressive like a distortion pedal would typically be. So we can almost get into like overdrive territory by maybe turning the tone down and bumping up that gain just a tiny bit. And then from here, like we designed the pedal, you can turn the boost on and it'll give you even more gain because you're boosting the signal going into the drive side. But if we want gainier sounds out of the drive circuit, we just turn that gain up. So the drive circuit inside the cross dissolve is based loosely on the OCD, so it's meant to be more of like an amp style breakup, almost bordering on fuzz. And again, like you heard before, if we turn the gain down, it can almost do overdrive, or it can do overdrive sounds. So next up is the tone control. This is our bright control, essentially. If we turn it down, we're gonna get the darkest sound possible, and as we turn it up, we're gonna get a brighter and brighter sound. And now right now we're at the brightest setting possible, and that has a lot of treble for sure. But maybe you are tuned down like I am. This is in C standard. Maybe you want to play on the neck pickup and it might just get a little bit too woolly for our taste. Honestly, that sounds really good to me, but let's say that's a little bit too woolly for our taste. We could do something like turn the boost on with the boost control all the way down, and what that's going to do is it's going to tighten up the low end and send a little bit less low end into the front of the drive circuit. The dissolve control kind of morphs the attitude and whole character of the pedal. Tori and I kind of describe the gain, tone, and dissolve as like an ecosystem, because depending on where everything is at, they kind of do different things. But what technically it's doing is limiting or putting more bass into the front of the circuit, and I believe the first gain stage. So as we turn it up, we're letting more and more low end through to kind of give, first it starts to get fuller in the sound, and then we start to kind of overload the sound, possibly, depending on where the other knobs are set. So let's go ahead and set the tone to middle and the gain to middle. Turn the dissolve down. So now we're gonna get a thinner sound, and as I turn that dissolve control up, you'll hear a little bit more bass come in gradually, and then it'll start to kind of overload. So you could hear at the top end of the dissolve control, especially with a low tune guitar, and these are high output pickups, we're starting to get into fuzz territory because there's so much low end going into the circuit that it's kind of breaking apart, it's pushing it to the brink. So let's go ahead and now hear what happens when we turn the gain up. And another cool thing is that we can, from here, with the gain all the way up, everything's going crazy, we can turn the boost control on to get more gain, and then we can also, if you're like into noisy rock or something like that, it starts to self-oscillate at a point, and you can kind of get some cool like interplay with the self-oscillation and feedback with the guitar signal. So now I've got my Squier Classic Vibe Precision Bass plugged in, so let's hear how the cross dissolve sounds on bass. Here's a clean sound. Here's the cross dissolve with everything at noon on the drive side. Let's say we want a more aggressive bass sound, so what I equate that to is a little bit more treble, a little less like lows, so I'm gonna turn the dissolve down and then maybe turn the tone up and hear how that sounds. Now let's go the other way. So let's turn the gain down a little bit and then turn the dissolve control up to see how the bass fills in as that dissolve control is turned up. maybe we want just like a subtle tiny bit of gain. Let's go ahead and turn the gain down and hear how that sounds. So that's quite a bit of gain already. Let's go ahead and turn the dissolve control down a little bit to kind of lower that gain amount even more. Now let's go ahead and hear how the boost sounds on bass. And that's the cross dissolve. If you want to learn more about this pedal or even purchase it, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. These are for sale over on the Electrojunk Pedals website. And so a huge thank you to you for checking this pedal out, taking the time to watch this video. Again, link in the description below over to the Electrojunk Pedals website. Thank you, Tori, for doing all the design and the electronic magic. And I hope you're doing well out there. I hope you're staying safe. And most of all, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.